How's it going, everyone? How you doing? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Josh, the Hermit, and today, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting into our weekly roundup for the playoffs. Round one, it was a bit of a doozy, couple upsets. I guess probably just really one upset. The rest of them, pretty swing. Like, you kind of really know who's gonna win. They're pretty interesting matches. But before we get into all that, I want to apologize that this is coming out so late. I got sick earlier this week, and because of that, it's not COVID, it's just a fever. Because of that, I had a sore throat, so I didn't really want a chance talking for half an hour until it was completely gone, and now it's completely gone. So I'm okay with recording. I didn't want to talk for half an hour with a sore throat. That just would have been a terrible idea. So sorry it's coming out so late, but it is what it is. We're here now. Enough about me, though. Let's get right into the matches. Actually, wait, I should probably plug stuff for the channel before we do that. Down below, you're gonna find all the coaches' channels. Go subscribe to them so you do not miss a single match of the EBL. Obviously, there are only 4 coaches remaining, but all the coaches deserve your love and support, so go check them out. Go subscribe to them. They're all fantastic people and fantastic content creators, so check out their channels. Also, subscribe to this channel if it's not already gray. I think it's grayed out. If it's red, click it and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss the weekly roundups, top 5 fails, top 5 plays. Power rankings are done for the season, so, but I mean, still, you don't want to miss any of the content on the channel. Now, with all that being said, let's get right into the matches. First up, on the Mega side, we have the DC Starmies versus the Florida Alligators. The Florida Alligators, the 2-time champ, walked away with another win, 6-3. This guy has, in my opinion, his worst team he's had in the EBL, Lionheart, and yet he is still winning. He's in the semifinals. Like, this guy just refuses to lose. He's just cursed with success, suffering from success, because he doesn't even want to keep winning, but he keeps winning. But yeah, Lionheart walked away with a pretty comfortable 6-3 win, if I do say so. I think it was great strats from him. I think it was great prep from him. And Lugia proved to be amazing. I will give you a little bit of a behind the scenes sort of thing. I do train with him. I help him with these matches. And with that one, Lugia was not going to be as big of a part of the match as it eventually became. It nearly took away MVP for the week, which we were not expecting. We were not expecting Lugia to be a big part of this. I think through our prep, we found that there's a reason to bring Urshifu on the side of DC. However, it just didn't perform well in the matches. I tried to get it to work. It did well in some of them, but then Lionheart made a couple adjustments and it just stopped doing anything really. So Urshifu, it got a kill in this match, but it probably shouldn't have come. To be honest, I think even I know Mandibuzz is also weak to fairy types. Mandibuzz would have done well in this match. I think Rillaboom would have done well in this match. I think they probably should have came in place of Urshifu. I understand, like I said, we found why you would bring Urshifu against a team that has like 6 fairies, but ultimately it just was not a good decision. I know it's your legendary, but you should probably leave it at home. It really shouldn't have come. It was I mean, you could tell a lot of it was for Lugia. It did hurt the Lugia quite a bit. Obviously, I almost killed it, but ultimately, it really didn't make that much of a difference at all, really. It got a free, even the kill it got was kind of a free one on Togekiss. Like, Lionheart just let that happen. So it's like, hindsight, maybe if the match had gone differently, maybe it could have checked Lugia a little better. But ultimately, it probably shouldn't have come. And like I said, Rillaboom or Mandibuzz, probably Mandibuzz should have come in its place. Just sort of act as a wall, you know, to try and get certain moves off, like Tailwind or something. It would have been nice to see a couple other Pokemon in place of the Urshifu, but like I said, there were reasons for it to be brought, so it wasn't a terrible idea. It was a little sad to see Timmy's energy slowly get drained as the match just ran away from him, because the second Lugia came out, it was able to break the match open. Lugia got 4 kills and didn't even die, so it was able to stay on the field and rack up those 4 kills, and it did work. It did a lot of work. Who did it take out? It took out Reshiram eventually, which took forever. It took out Rotom-Mo, it took out Starmie, and it took out Lycanroc Dusk. It is wild. It broke the game open there, and it was able to do a lot of work. Those are the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th kills of the matches. Out of the first 3 kills, 2 of them actually did go the way of DC, so that they did have an advantage. By the time Lugia came out, they had lost Mamoswine, whereas Florida had lost Whimsicott and Renerigas, however you pronounce it. And then Lugia came out, and Lugia started to do work. It Dynamax, got the Spadef boosts, it got a speed boost, I believe, as well. It did get defense drops, which did eventually force a switch when Urshifu came out. But by the time Urshifu came out, it was already done and dusted. By the time it became Reshiram versus Lugia, Timmy by that point was already fighting a losing battle. In my opinion, I think Reshiram came out a little late. I'm not gonna lie, because the thing you have to be worried about with Lugia is it setting up defenses, because it is a very bulky Pokemon. So you gotta be careful with those defense raises. So I think Reshiram probably should have came out sooner than it did. I know you wanted to burn a Dynamax turn, Timmy. I get it. But when Lugia's Dynamax on the field, you do not want to let that thing run around unchecked. You want to at least get some hits on it, and Reshiram would have definitely got some hits on it. So I think it should have came out sooner. Should have Dynamax sooner to try and counter the Lugia. You would have, I think, had an extra turn Dynamax, whereas Lugia would have been small. But then again, Lugia has the Roost stall, which was annoying and stalled out the Reshiram's Dynamax. So maybe ultimately it wouldn't have made much of a difference. I will say though, early on, the Mamoswine living on red and getting a big hit on Zacian was a big deal, because that checked Zacian, leaving it on low health, and it checked Zacian for the rest of the match pretty much. But Lugia ended up stepping in, and it just did really, really well. 4 straight kills, and nearly got the MVP. So unfortunate, Timmy. Sorry to see you go, but your debut season was nothing to sniff at. You did incredibly well this season for it being your first in the EBL. So good job on that. I'm sure we'll see improvements next season. Lionheart, the 2-time champ, is an amazing battler. I mean, we've already seen it time and time again, but man, this guy just doesn't know how to lose. Like, even when he tries to lose, he still wins. Like, this guy's crazy. He's just an amazing battler, and I can't wait to see the semifinal, because his opponent was in the next match. This is the Detroit Lectures, which is the LA Inferno. Detroit Lectures walked away with a 6-3 win. I just name a better duo than me in the playoffs and making a mistake. It really we just go hand in hand. I choke in the playoffs. It is what it is, I guess. I misclicked my Mewtwo first turn. I was gonna Dynamax. I misclicked, and ultimately Mewtwo went down. There was also a prep. I don't want to say it was an error. I should have just gone with my gut though. I wanted to bring Thunderbolt, but I kind of got in my head about Scizor, so I was like, I need something for the Scizor, so that's why I ended up bringing Flamethrower. And then Scizor didn't even come, which honestly I didn't really need to bring Flamethrower. I probably could have just brought Thunderbolt. At the very least, I would have clicked Thunderbolt first turn. At the very least, I would have clicked Thunderbolt first turn. So at least I would have done a ton of damage on the Gyarados. Maybe even would have killed it. Not sure about that. The Gyarados' special defense is actually not terrible. So I probably would have lived while Dynamax. But yeah, that was frustrating for sure. And I definitely should just gone with my gut and taken Thunderbolt instead of Flamethrower. Hindsight played a little bit into that, but at the same time, I wanted to take Thunderbolt. But a combination of my fear of Scizor coming, and a combination of what Lionheart was telling me, and then how it was doing in the practice battles with Flamethrower, I was like, I don't know, I feel like I might not need Thunderbolt, but alas, I should have taken it. But yeah, Mewtwo goes down to Gyarados early. I sent in Leafeon to make sure that it can at least mitigate Gyarados to a little bit with its attack. I sent it in for the Baby Doll Eyes. If I didn't, Thundurus maybe doesn't live that hit against Gyarados, so I maybe could have kept Leafeon alive, but I needed that Gyarados to go down. I was not trying to get swept. So then eventually Gyarados goes down to my Dynamax Thundurus, but ultimately it really didn't make much of a difference. By that point, I was fighting a losing battle. I already burned my Dynamax. Thundurus eventually actually didn't go down as early as I thought it would have, but it did eventually go down. I got a little bit of momentum in the middle of the match by killing Gyarados and Seismitoad, but like I said, I was fighting a losing battle from that point on. It really didn't make much of a difference at all, really. And eventually, just Rotom Heat was able to check a couple Pokemon, and then Kyogre came in for the last couple kills to take out, was it Primarina and Aerodactyl? Which Aerodactyl actually had a decent chance to do some damage, so did Primarina. And then the RNG gods decided to smite me and paralyze me on the last turn, even though I was going to lose anyways. They just wanted to rub it in my face, I guess. But yeah, it was a really unfortunate misclick on the first turn. And again, I probably should have brought Thunderbolt. That could be a hindsight thing, but I think it was more so I should have just gone with my gut, to be honest. Max, you gotta be a little careful. You're getting a little lucky. I can't say that your opponent's mistakes are your fault, but a little bit of luck there, especially with that match and the match against Luigi. A little bit of luck, but you handled it well. You came out with a really good start. That was very smart of you, and I think you did a great job with your prep. So good job, man, and good luck against Lionheart. That's gonna be a really fun one. Moving on, we have arguably maybe the biggest upset this season, probably the biggest upset this season. The Texas Tyranitar walked away with a 6-4 win over the Indiana Igglybuffs. I don't think many people saw this coming. There were a couple mistakes and a couple of RNG things that went against Indiana. First of all, the Crawdaunt was a great check for Sableye, so good job on that, Texas. I know you got some help from Pitch, so good job you guys coming up with that. Crawdaunt being a check for Sableye was very smart, because Sableye is an incredibly annoying Pokemon. So that was great, but I think the bigger talking point was the double flinch on the Snorlax. That was just really unfortunate. The Snorlax was setting up and it was starting to do work. It killed, what did it kill? It killed Torkoal, it killed Rayquaza, Quaza, whatever. It was setting up, like it was getting the setup, and then it got double flinched, I believe, by the Aggron. Like that's really unfortunate that it got that double flinch. Honestly, possibly a game-winning RNG right there for Texas, because that Snorlax was getting ready to get some kills there. It was +1 special defense and +2 attack, so it was getting ready to eat some hits and dish some hits. So it's really unfortunate that I got the double flinch, because in those 2 turns it could have killed the Aggron that was in front of it. Or was it Aggron that killed it? Yes, yeah, it was Aggron that killed it. So in those 2 turns, it could have killed the Aggron, but unfortunately, it did go down. So RNG definitely was not on the side of Indiana. Sceptile finally did incredibly well in a match. No bad switches. The Sceptile actually came in and did work. It took out the Magyarna, the Cinderace, and the Scolipede to break the match open and essentially seal it for Texas right there. Bob did all he could. Yeltnib did all he could. But by that point, when Sceptile came in and started doing work, it just was game over from there on. Bringing Earthquake was a really smart move as well, so good job on that. And yeah, good job, Texas. Big improvements. I like what I saw. It's unfortunate that RNG kind of ruined this match, because I think Texas would have put up a fight regardless. So it is unfortunate that RNG, killed this match, and we couldn't really see Alan win without the RNG and stuff. But regardless, I think you still did well. I think the prep was there. So yeah, good job on that win. Like I said, probably the biggest upset this season, and the biggest talking point was that Snorlax getting double flinched. I mean, that was just really unfortunate. That was just really unfortunate. But good job, Alan. I'm really happy that you got that win after the regular season that you had, being able to turn it around in these last couple playoff matches. Good job. Like, really, seriously, good job. I like the improvements. I like what I'm seeing. Moving on to the other Dynamax Conference match. We have the Essex Espeons versus the Atlanta Braviary. The Essex Espeons, I believe, repeated the win they got over the Atlanta Braviary. It was a 6-2 win for the Essex Espeons, and Mew, wow. Mew, the MVP for the week, came up big. 5 kills, no deaths, broke the match open. I mean, wide open. Got the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th kill of the match, before it eventually got switched out. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Mimikyu got the first kill of the match for Essex. Mew got the last few kills. It just did really, really well. The beginning of the match was actually not bad. The beginning of the match actually was more in favor of Atlanta, to be honest. The first half was definitely on the side of Atlanta, but they lost momentum when the Volcarona went down. Man, the Volcarona getting misplayed again is really frustrating. Matt, why? The extra quiver dance again killing him in this match with the Volcarona, because the Volcarona could have done work. Matt decided to quiver dance again, and it went down, I believe, against the Mimikyu. Was it Mimikyu? Yeah, against the Mimikyu. It should have attacked first. It should have just gone on the offensive against the Mimikyu, but instead he chose to try and quiver dance again. Not a good play. Again, he misplayed the Volcarona. It was just things were going in his way as well. Like, Essex had a bad start because of the miscalc with the Dynamax cannon against Volcarona. There was a miscalc there, I guess, for Pidge. He thought the Dynamax cannon would do more against the Volcarona. It didn't, and the Volcarona started to set up and do work, but the Mimikyu was able to come in and check it, and quiver dancing in front of the Mimikyu was not a good play. It was great getting, like, Matt got a turn to stop the field. That was one of the best things he could have done. He got off the field very early. It was the first kill of the match. He got in turns to off the field, but it was not smart by quiver dancing. Also, I think there was a mistake with Crustle in its setup, I believe, as well. I can't remember what move it's supposed to have, but there was also a mistake with the Crustle too on the prep there. But yeah, the Volcarona quiver dance killed the momentum for Atlanta, because then Mimikyu kills the Volcarona. Genesect comes in to kill Mimikyu. Then Mew comes out, and Genesect obviously switches because Matt had a Vietnam flashbacks about getting Blaze kicked in week 4. So he switches out. Genesect comes into Araquanid. Mew kills Araquanid. Then it killed Crustle. Then it killed Excelgor. Then it killed Pheromosa. And then it killed Genesect anyways. So Mew came in and just did so much work. And good job, Pidge, for the prep again. Matt, maybe don't click quiver dance again, ever again. Maybe don't ever don't bring quiver dance ever again. It's your bad luck charm against Pidge. I think that was a really, really big misplay. Not to mention that he did it in week 4. He made that misplay in week 4, and then made that misplay again in the playoff run 1. So I think that was a huge mistake. Definitely shouldn't have done that. It was really unfortunate that he made that mistake again. I wish it would have been a closer match. I was expecting a closer match, but alas, it was not to be. So yeah, those are the matches for the playoff round 1. We have Florida for Alligators, the Detroit Luxrays, Texas Tyranitar, and the Essex Espeons moving on to the semifinals. Now, speaking of semifinals, predictions time. We have the Detroit Luxrays versus the Florida for Alligators on the Mega Conference side. I like what I've seen from Max, but honestly, I'm going to take Florida in this one. I mean, Lionheart has just proven, despite having... I'm not saying his team is bad, but this is not his best team he's ever had. This is the worst team he's ever had in the EBL. And yet he just keeps winning. He just finds ways to win, finds strategies to make sure he can walk away with the win. I know he's going to be trying in this one, so I'm not going to take Detroit on the chance that he's not trying. So we're going to take Florida in this one. I think Florida walk away with a win. Not to say Detroit aren't going to put up a fight, because Detroit have a fantastic team. So Detroit are obviously going to put up a fight. It's going to be a closer match for Florida than the playoff round 1 was. But I think Florida walk away with a win over the Detroit Luxrays. Moving on, we have the Essex Espeons versus the Texas Tyranitar. I'm still going to back Essex despite the big upset win for Texas. I think Essex has a Texas, say that 5 times fast. The Essex Espeons, I think, still have a huge advantage over the Texas Tyranitar. Their prep is just insane, and they're coming off of a really good win over Atlanta. So I think they're gonna be able to adjust for their weaknesses and come out with a really good game plan and take out Texas. I think Essex are still the favorites in that match, despite the upset win for Texas. But I think that match is gonna be fairly close. I think Texas is gonna going to keep that match close throughout, and it's going to be a bit of a nail biter for a nail biter win as Essex get back into the finals for the second season in a row. With all that being said, let me know your predictions for the semifinals down below. Let me know what you thought of the playoffs round 1. Also, while you're down there, check out all the coaches down below to see the matches this week. You want to check out Game Reviews, Lionheart Plays, PokePage, and the Doorman. You want to check out their channels down below to see the matches. But again, you should check out all the other coaches as well. Go subscribe to their channels. All fantastic content creators and fantastic people. Check all of them out. Go subscribe, follow, do all that stuff. It's all greatly appreciated. Also, subscribe to the EBL channel so you don't miss any of the weekly roundups, because I know you love seeing my face. Check out the top 5 plays, any top 5 fails. Check out all that good stuff. Subscribe to the channel so you not miss any of that. And of course, be sure to share social media, friends, family, everyone you know. Let the people know the Elite Battle League where it's at. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.